Hello guys, welcome to Medico Virally. Thank you for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed yet, kindly click the subscribe button and hit the bell icon to stay updated. If you want to join the Medico Virally social media networks, kindly click the links provided in the description and get subscribed. And in this video, you're going to watch about the chronic congestive heart failure. In the last video, we have already discussed about the acute congestive heart failure. And now the chronic congestive heart failure. The heart has been suffering from a major problem since very long time. So first of all, if you can understand the pathogenesis, then you can stop the problem. So if you can treat the cause, if you can find the cause and treat the cause, then you can give the treatment. So in the entire pharmacology, first you know the pathology or pathogenesis of a disease, and then you can easily remember the pharmacological drugs also. So coming to the congestive heart failure, the chronic variant, here chronically the heart has been failed. That means the left ventricular hypertrophy or the right ventricular hypertrophy is the main problem here. Due to that, there is a decreased cardiac output. When there is a decreased cardiac output, when our heart cannot pump more, due to this, our central nervous system will be thinking that I have to show some sympathy on the heart. In this way, the central nervous system shows sympathy on you. So, but the central nervous system shows sympathy on various kinds of receptors, because when it shows sympathy on various receptors, we also get the unwanted action. So, let us understand that. For example, if the sympathetic system acts on the alpha receptors, there is a vasoconstriction. I think you all know this is the blood vessel here. In the blood vessel, just write alpha. So that means the vessel has been constricted. So when the sympathetic system acts on the alpha receptors, the vessels get constricted. So we have two types of vessels, the veins and arteries. When the veins are constricted, there is an increase in the preload. When arteries are constricted, there is an increase in the afterload. So A for artery, A for afterload. So when both the load is increased, what happens? There is an increase in workload of the heart. Okay, so heart has to pump against this resistance. In the same way, the sympathetic system also acts on beta 1 receptors. Yeah, one good point is when it acts on the beta 1 receptors of the heart, there is an increase in inotropic action leading to the increased cardiac output. This is the good action, but the bad action is even beta 1 receptors are found in the JG cells. When these JG cells are stimulated, they release renin. The renin, what it does is, it converts the angiotensinogen into the angiotensin 1. And this angiotensin 1 is converted into angiotensin 2 by angiotensin converting enzymes. Okay, when this angiotensin 2 is released and converted, then it goes and acts on the angiotensin 1 receptors. So it acts on the angiotensin 1 receptors. These receptors are present in the vessels where it causes vasoconstriction, and also it is present on adrenal cortex where aldosterone is released. When aldosterone is released, do you know the function of the aldosterone? Yes, it increases the sodium and water retention. When the sodium and water is retained inside the body, it leads to formation of edema also. When the heart has more water or more fluid, then what it happens? It has more workload. So another way that there is an increased workload of the heart through aldosterone. And in the same way, even the angiotensin 1 receptors are present on adrenal medulla, thereby increased release of adrenaline or noradrenaline. So the whole pathogenesis is increasing the workload of the heart, and the other one which you can find is it is increasing the fluid retention in the body. So technically what you have to think, for example, if a chronic congestive heart failure patient comes to you, you already know that there is an increased workload on the heart, there is increased fluid in the body, and also due to this both, there is a changes in the left ventricular. The left ventricular hypertrophy has already been in process. So what is your pharmacological treatment or pharmacological way? That is, first you try to decrease the work. Okay, So to decrease the work, you have to dilate the vessels, veins and arteries. So to dilate the veins and arteries, we have three different kinds of drugs here, that is venodilators, arteriodilators and both mixed drugs, that is veno plus arteriodilator. Because the venodilator means nitrates, arteriodilators or hydralazine. So we cannot give two drugs to one patient. So we use a single drug where both the veins and arteries are dilating. They are sodium nitroprusside, angiotensin converting enzyme inhibitors and angiotensin receptor blockers. Okay, so a simple way to understand is veins must be dilated, arteries also must be dilated. Why we use angiotensin converting enzymes here? Because it doesn't release the angiotensin 2. So if this is blocked, the angiotensin 2 cannot be released, and that's why this cannot act on the vessels as well as the adrenal cortex. Understood? Yeah. So the first work you have done as a doctor is you decrease the work on the heart. The second one, please decrease the fluid levels in your body. So to decrease this, you use the loop diuretics. This we have already discussed in the renal pharmacology, which will be posted sooner. Okay, so to decrease the fluid or to remove the excess fluid from the body, you will use diuretics. And the next one, you have to decrease the left ventricular hypertrophy, that is the cardiac remodeling which has happened already. You have to get it back to the position. So what you will do? We use these kind of drugs, such as, I will just first try to explain in the pathogenesis itself. For example, here my heart, my left ventricle has been hypertrophied. So first I have to stop the agonistic activity. I have to stop the stimulation. For that, I just stop the beta 1 receptors, that is I block the beta 1 receptors, or beta 1 antagonist will be used. And later on, what the next step is, here angiotensinogen converted to the angiotensin 1, and then angiotensin converting enzymes are converting 1 to 2. So again the second step will be blocking the angiotensin converting enzymes. Even if I couldn't block beta 1 or ACE inhibitors, so if these two steps fail in any case, then I will block the angiotensin receptors. So the angiotensin receptor blockers will be used. So this is the first one, this is the second block, and this is the third block. And the fourth block which I can use is the aldosterone blockers, where here even the receptors are present, but if I block the aldosterone receptors, then they cannot retain the sodium and water. In this way I can decrease the water retention, and also I can decrease the workload on the heart. So let us discuss the main four types of drugs here, that is the beta blockers, the first break which I use, and the second break ACE inhibitors, and the third one angiotensin receptor blockers. Last break I use is aldosterone blockers. Let us first discuss about the beta blockers. See, a small story here. My heart is already suffering, and if my heart is suffering, I have to go quickly and act on the heart so that my heart will be saved. Am I right? So to save my heart, first I try to take out my car and go to the heart, because if I use my own way of transport, I can go directly to heart without stopping anywhere. Am I right? So in any case, if my car gave a trouble to me, then I use a metro bus. By metro I will just go to the heart very soon, and then I will save my heart. Even if the metro is not possible, is not available, the final one is the bus. So this is a story to remember the drugs such as carvedilol, metoprolol, it's not bus is to remember you, bisoprolol. So these are the main three drugs which we use in chronic congestive heart failure. And the last one, a small topic, is the aldosterone blockers. Mainly two types, that is spironolactone and eplerenone. Here the spironolactone causes the gynecomastia, and hence nowadays we are using eplerenone. They are potassium sparing diuretics. This is all you have to remember about the beta blockers and the aldosterone. And the last point about beta blockers is never give the high dose at a time for chronic congestive heart failure patients, because you have to start at a very low dose and gradually increase the dose, or else there will be more effect on the heart. In the same way, the next group of drugs we have to learn is ACE inhibitors, angiotensin converting enzyme inhibitors. Here in the pathogenesis, the first break we have discussed and the last break we have discussed. The second and the third we will be discussing now. The angiotensin converting enzymes also, they degrade or convert the bradykinin, they metabolize the bradykinin. So if the angiotensin converting enzyme is blocked, the bradykinin cannot be metabolized further, and hence the bradykinin level increases in the body. So if this is increased, we have two main side effects, that is the cough and angioedema. So these are the two side effects you have to remember, cough and angioedema. And the drugs which are included under the ACE inhibitors are, do you know Pril? Yeah, it's a soap brand also. So Pril drugs or Pril group of drugs come under ACE inhibitors. The captopril, lisinopril, enalapril, ramipril, perindopril, moaxipril. So these are all the types of drugs you have to remember as angiotensin converting enzyme inhibitors. And another MCQ here is the first one, captopril and lisinopril are active drugs. To remember this, ACL is the mnemonic. From the anatomy, ACL, the anterior cruciate ligament, means active are captopril and lisinopril. They both are active. And the remaining four drugs or the prodrugs, so they need to be converted and then they become active. So if the active forms will be enalaprilat, just add the at the last of the drug, at the ending of the drug. Ramiprilat, perindoprilat. So when you add at the ending of the drug, then it becomes active, or else these four are the prodrugs. The main adverse effects of ACE inhibitors are, you can remember this by the drug captopril. Okay, C for cough and angioedema, as we already discussed here, and P for the prodrugs, that is we have the four prodrugs except ACL, captopril and lisinopril are active. T tells you that the taste is altered, so there is a name, that is dysgeusia, means alteration in the taste. O for orthostatic hypotension or postural hypertension. And the remaining in the Pril, the remaining three are contraindicated in each of the situation, that is it is contraindicated in pregnancy, it is contraindicated in renal artery stenosis, mostly bilateral renal artery stenosis, and also contraindicated in hyperkalemia patients. So these are the three contraindications. And one good effect is the ACE inhibitors lowers the risk of diabetic nephropathy. Okay, so this is a good point of the ACE inhibitors. From the same mnemonic, even for the angiotensin receptor blockers, we have the adverse effects as topril. Just take the words, just a second. Just if you remember the cap, then the topril or the adverse effects, same adverse effects even to the angiotensin receptor blockers. Okay, and the main drugs which we use in angiotensin receptor blockers end with sartans. Sartan is nothing but S for selective, A means angiotensin 1, and RT for receptor antagonist, selective angiotensin 1 receptor antagonist. So all the sartans are angiotensin receptor blockers. Low sartan, that means the word itself tells there is something low about this, means it lowers the uric acid. Another one, valsartan, telmisartan. An important point about telmisartan is it also acts on PPAR gamma receptor. So when this receptor is activated, it reverses the insulin resistance. So this is a good point about the telmisartan. And the other three is irbesartan, eprosartan and candesartan. So these are the drugs which you have to remember. Just remember the letter or the word sartan, and then you can get the choices ruled out. Okay, so this is all about the chronic congestive heart failure. Just try to save your heart by blocking beta 1 or by blocking ACE or by blocking the receptor itself, or if you cannot do the first three things, at least by blocking the aldosterone, that is using the spironolactone or eplerenone. Okay, so these are all the important drugs you have to remember regarding the chronic congestive heart failure. If you have any suggestions regarding the videos, kindly do comment below, and do like the video, subscribe and share to your friends. Thank you very much for watching.